Hello, peeps! It's the Hillbilly Halfwit. How are you all today? Well, today we got a sit-down one today, and this is a good one for you. And I was talking to a friend of mine a few weeks ago, and he was telling me how he was living in Birmingham, and his mate was selling his house, and how the mosque had bought the house off his mate and just paid down. So I thought, damn, how do they do that? So it's a very clever way, to be honest with you. And we've all seen it, how people in certain areas and certain religions are able to buy up streets where nobody else can really afford it. So what is going on? And I've had a bit of a look. And it's quite, well, I never knew this. Perhaps I'm just the only one who never knew this, but perhaps you lot know it. It's about Sharia and Muslim loans. So what we're going to go through is how they have very, very low interest rates compared to other ones. So first of all, we're going to go through, it's not going to be a very long one, through Muslim loans and Sharia loans. And then I'm going to show you the debt in Welsh councils. And it's just interesting. Why do we have to pay debt? Because we're Christians. That's what I find a bit odd, but there we are. So let's get going. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe already. And it doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps me out, okay? The content in this video is intended for comedic purposes only. The views expressed in this video are not to be taken as factual information or representation of my personal beliefs. I am critically reviewing the info and videos I show as examples. And I mean all my videos, not just this one. And also, just before we go a little bit further, I had to remove a comment last night. And it's the first time I've done that. So in all my time on YouTube since 2008, I've removed 3 people. So 2 people were having a go at a lady who was commenting. They were like some kind of nutters. And yesterday I had to remove a comment because I replied to this comment and the monetization on my video had been removed straight afterwards. So I think it was either a dodgy person who's reporting stuff, or somebody was watching my video and done it on purpose. So the 3rd time since 2008 that I've had to remove a comment. Okay? Right, so this is what I thought. I thought, let's ask what an Islamic bank account is. So here we are. Yes, Islamic bank accounts exist in the UK and are offered by both Islamic banks and some mainstream banks. Islamic banks in the UK, Al Rayyan Bank, is an Islamic bank that has been innovative in the Islamic finance industry. The BLME, a bank that offers Sharia-compliant accounts. The Gatehouse Bank, an Islamic bank that has been named the UK's most innovative Islamic bank. Nomo Bank, a digital bank that offers international banking services. QIB UK, an Islamic bank that offers Sharia-compliant financing and investment products. And UBL, a bank that offers Sharia-compliant accounts. Well, there we are. There's very simple. So this is Islamic bank accounts. Islamic bank accounts follow Sharia law, which forbids charging interest on loans and mortgages. Well, that's a new one on me. I did not know that. So why is that only on Islamic bank accounts? Because if you think about it, most of your mortgage is interest. So if you're paying paying 1,200 a week mortgage, probably if you didn't have the interest, that would be £300 to £400, maybe just £300 without the interest on it. So it's a huge amount, isn't it? It's a huge amount of difference. Now, I think that's very odd. Islamic accounts are similar to traditional current accounts, but have no credit or debt interest. Islamic accounts have restrictions such as funds must be ring-fenced. Here's what I felt was quite interesting now. Islamic accounts are available to everyone, even those who don't practice Islam. So, surely this means that you can go to one of them banks I mentioned there, if they're in your area, or it's an online bank, and apply for a mortgage without any interest on, according to that. This is what come back when I searched it. So, Islamic accounts are available to everyone, even those who don't practice Islam. So that's worth looking into if you're having a bit of problems paying your mortgage. Islamic finance in the UK. The UK is a strong Islamic insurance fund management and banking sectors. What is a halal mortgage? With an Islamic halal mortgage, the bank buys the property for you and either charges you rent until you fully own it or sells it back to you at a higher price. You will have a plan to pay it back in installments, but there will be no interest involved. Either way, the bank still makes a profit. See, this is what my mate was talking about. So this is what happened to his friend. So he sold his house. The mosque bought it using an Islamic halal mortgage. So I'll say that again. So they paid on the nose for it, all the money down, and then somebody moves into that property and only pays for what the money is without any interest. So they're probably only paying rent amount to buy that house. They're probably only paying £300, which would be over probably about 1,200 a normal person. Which I think is not right, is it? Personally. Good on these lot. I really think this is good on the Islamic halal mortgage. I think it's a lot fairer. Myself, if they're still making money. So let's read that again. With an Islamic halal mortgage, the bank buys the property for you and either charges you rent until you fully own it or sells it back to you at a higher price. You will have a plan to pay it back in installments, but there will be no interest involved. Either way, the bank still makes a profit. Now, you can see now why lots of areas get bought up by a certain people, because they have an easier way of buying. If me and you went there, we'd have to show everything, and we'd have to show we could pay this interest on these things, and the interest go up and down. And we have to have these special things where you get locked in for your interest. This lot don't pay any interest. An Islamic loan is one that is compliant with Sharia law and means that there is no payment of interest on the loan, as it is forbidden in Sharia law. Islamic loans adhere to Sharia guidelines and principles which promote ethical and societal responsible financing. Well, I gotta say, I think this is a bloody good job. I'm not having a go at these people at all because I think it's right. Their religion is looking after their people. And why can't this happen to a Christian? If the Christian lot decided to do the same thing, why can't they? Why can't they suddenly say it's against the law to have Christian, if a Christian has whatever religion, if they are a religion, or a certain religion, they should not have to pay interest. I think it's excellent. It's absolutely brilliant for young families to finance properties and young people. I think it's fantastic. I don't like the way it's okay for one lot in society to do it, and the other lot are paying 2/3 more than this lot. Well, I'm not very keen on that, but it's a very good idea. So how many of you knew about that? And if you're in trouble with your mortgage, maybe go and have a look at one of them places I said at the start. So if you're wondering where all our money is when we're having these borrowing rates go up and down, so does this mean in Islamic countries, Sharia law, that they don't pay any interest on the money? Because it surely does. It surely means that if you're an Islamic country or a Muslim country, you don't have to pay the interest that we do when we lend them things. I bet you it does. But I don't know about that. If you're wondering why you can't get a GP appointment today, politicians spent in the UK 400 billion on COVID, 800 billion on HS2, 350 billion on debt interest. So look at that. Nearly as much as they spent on COVID in debt interest every year. And 80 billion in overseas aid over 5 years. Billions on immigration. So we all know that this is 5 or 6 billion per year just to look after 30 to 40,000 illegals. Billions on benefits for 5 million to sit around. And now we're off to fight Russia. And when you really look at it, the total amount that we spend on our military is, I think it's 65 billion or 64 billion. So every year, the debt interest of the UK is 350 billion. So that should say how badly our country's been run by these politicians. And this is quite an interesting one. I saw this the other week. It's how much all the councils in Wales owe. So this is their debt. Look at it. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Powys, 283,180. I think that is. Or is it million? 200, or is it million? It can't be, can it? No, I think it must be. That can't be 200 million, surely to God. 283 million. Well, I don't know. It could be. I honestly don't know. That looks like it's written in millions to me. But what do I know? So you can work that out. Cardiff, 858. Well, I would probably say 1,000, but I don't know. I honestly don't know looking at this now. It's got to be million, isn't it? A million is nothing to a county council. It wouldn't get anything done. So there we are. I'm looking at Powys there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 noughts. It surely isn't 283 million, is it? Well, it's got to be. It's bound to be. 283,180,000. Well, I'm absolutely amazed. I'm more when I look at this. So there we are. You look down through this for all yours, all them in Wales. That's how much they owe. So this has been run into the ground by the people running Wales. Now this is the end of the video now, I think. Thank you all for watching. And like I said, I'm definitely having somebody watching my stuff now or trying to ban things. So I've got to be a little bit careful of what I say. Because that was very odd last night. I really found that odd. That's the first time that's happened. Because the video had been up all day and nothing had been put on it. So there we are. Please subscribe. Really appreciate you watching. Thank you all for watching. All the best, guys.